Good Friday morning. Larry Sprinkle along with Brittany Van Voorhees on a weather-aware day here in the Carolinas and the Charlotte area.
And it has been a mess, to say the least.
I mean, we've seen everything. We've had all the heavy rain, the high winds, and the traffic has been a terrible situation. We'll show you that in a minute. First thing we do want to talk about is the fact on this weather-aware day, it's also a day with a tornado watch in effect. That's a wide area. You take a look at that. It's from Charlotte to Greensboro, down to Lancaster in South Carolina. It's basically a line from Interstate 77 east all the way to the Carolina coastline.
And I really feel like, Larry, the big reason why, right, is because of the side of Nicole we are on. The center, as you know, of course, closer to the center part of Georgia, and that puts all of the Carolinas on that dreaded northeast quadrant, the dirty side of the storm. We know that oftentimes we get the worst wind in this area. The spin in the atmosphere oftentimes allows for the opportunity for those quick spin ups. And I know you know this, Larry, but we have to keep an eye closely because it happens like that quick. They're often weak.
That's why we call them quick spin ups.
Yeah.
They're here and gone, but they do happen. And you can see this is a monster storm as far as the geography of it. So here's the kind of the timeline. That tornado threat is really this morning into maybe early afternoon that we see the biggest threat for tornadoes today.
Yeah, it looks like we kind of get maybe a quick midday break, but we really do have those two opportunities. So I think we also don't want people to think if it rains once, they're good for the rest of the day, because I'd say at least till about 3 o'clock. We're at least going to see that small risk.
Feeder bands, it's going to be windy. We could see winds gusting up to 30 miles an hour and some very, very heavy rainfall in addition to that. Already some gusty winds out there. Now, we haven't seen any winds gust yet to 30, but, you know, we get a wind gust over 20. That's significant, right?
Yeah, it is, especially with, I think, all the mess on the roads. The rain, it started last night, so things are already slick. You get the additional wind, and we know that oftentimes with the saturated ground, a 25-mile-per-hour wind gust could easily take down a few trees, so people have to be aware of that too, especially in the east side of the city where we get a lot of those big trees.
There's so many older trees in the Charlotte area. Something about Myers Park neighborhood. That's an example. That happens quite a bit. But really, it's widespread with all these high winds, the gusty winds out there. And if we go back to the graphics, we want to talk about more what's happening today with those winds. I don't think we'll see 35. Now, when you get a spin-up tornado, obviously, we're going to see them maybe up to 20, 25 miles an hour through the evening. Now, talk about the tornado threat, the parameters.
Yeah, so tornado parameter is kind of a combination of multiple things. It's the spin in the atmosphere, how strong it is, whether or not we get that warmth and moisture that kind of comes along with it. I got a lot of questions, especially on social media. You know, is this going to be like Ian? I think the wind and rain, similar wind, not quite as high, but it's where we're on the storm that's a little bit different in terms of the tornado parameter.
Okay, and those are very important to look at, those high numbers right there. The higher the number, the more potential there is. A 5% threat, that's significant.
Yeah. I think that, so Brad says this a lot, Larry, I think he says it really well, is that on a normal day we have a 0% chance of a tornado. So people see 2 and 5% and they think, oh, that's not that high. Well, that means a 2% is double your chance on a normal day, and 5% is, what is that, quintuple your chance on a normal day? So it's 5 times higher than just a normal, typical day. Absolutely.
Something we'll think about. We'll be here, obviously, to keep an eye on this situation throughout the day today, and the very latest coming up at 11:30. You'll be here as well, and Brad will be on board as well, the whole weather team. So have a great day. Stay safe. Remember, it's a weather-aware day.
Yes. Stay safe, everyone.